washed out. Okay. Good morning. Let me back this up a little bit. Sorry, just trying to adjust some stuff here. Back this up a little bit. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Good morning. Or if you're tuning in at a different time, welcome. We've got some orders going out on eBay and whatnot today. So packing up some orders. If anybody has any questions, comments, please put them down below. Makes it a little easier to talk and work in the morning if there's some conversation going. I want to see the chat on this one. There we go. Welcome. Like I said, I've got some orders going out on eBay and whatnot today. We're going to pack up the whatnot orders first. Why can I not see the chat? Good morning if you're just coming in. Where's my chat? Welcome. Okay, let's talk about whatnot a little bit. We did an impromptu whatnot show yesterday out of the storage unit, and it went pretty well. My only issue was that we didn't have my laptop there, so we tried to run everything from the phone, and it just didn't run as smoothly as I would like it to. So next time, we're definitely going to take the laptop in so Brandon can input the items while we sell them. So in our whatnot show, you can definitely get deals in there. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff that people bought and the deals they were able to get. So the first thing that's going out, one buyer bought Diddy Kong Racing, and they also got these two Japanese Game Boy games that I have no idea what they are. They're something boy and what looks like an RPG. But for all three games, they got $12 before shipping. So there's definitely deals if you join my whatnot. Come check it out because we're going to try to run them more regularly. We get a ton of stuff, and the plan is to run a bunch of those. So hopefully you guys can follow me on whatnot and come in and get some of those deals yourself. And I'm just going to get some bubble wrap on these. I always like to layer it a little bit and protect it in that box, even though these cartridge games really aren't going to get any damage or anything like that. Put them in an 8x6x4 box. Fits in pretty nicely, and I'm just going to put some packing paper to fill in the rest. So how's everybody's mornings going today? Any good sales? Any good finds the last couple days? Love to know what you guys have been finding or what you've been selling online. And I almost forgot to put in the packing slip. So with whatnot, it always prints off like their packing slip. I just fold it up, put it inside the box. And if you want, as I drop stuff, if you want to follow me on whatnot, it should be, all of my links should be in my bio. And if it's not, it's just Retro Rewinder. I'm Retro Rewinder on pretty much everything. And I already shipped out 2 of these whatnot orders. So we had 4 more to do today. Welcome if you're just now joining in. First whatnot order is shipped, and like I said, they got a pretty good deal. 3 games for $12 before shipping. Moving on to the next one here. Let me see what they paid. We got 3, 3, 18. So they got $25 for all of this. So for $25, they got 3 games, which was Big Bird, Hide and Seek, and Al Unser Racing. They also got the box only for Shadowgate. We did not have a manual. We did not have a game for this. They paid $18 for the box. And then I put the last game they got inside just to give it a little protection. And they got Sesame Street 1, 2, 3. So for the 3 games and the box, they paid $25 before shipping. Like I said, there is definitely good deals to be found on my Whatnot. And we have such a wide variety on there. We're going to be doing clothing. We're going to be doing toys, comics, video games. We got all kinds of stuff to do on Whatnot. Welcome, everybody that's just now coming in. Let me know how your guys' morning's going. Did you guys get any good deals today? Sell anything that was fun? Gonna get some bubble wrap on this. Definitely a good deal for the Shadowgate. I don't know what that box sells for on eBay. I know that we got, like, we sold that Diddy Kong Racing for 10, and I'm pretty sure we could have got like 15 for it in our booth. So there's definitely deals to be found. So we're going to get that in the box. And then these last 2 games, we'll bubble wrap those together. Welcome, welcome. If you're just now coming in, I appreciate it. We are packing up eBay and our Whatnot orders from yesterday. And in a couple hours, I'm hopefully going to move all of my Harley shirts. If you saw that reel where I picked up a bunch of Harley, I've got one buyer that's hopefully going to buy them all. So nice fit. No, thank you. So we got a nice fit here. Just going to take a little bit of extra packing paper, make sure that doesn't move around. And before I put that packing paper, we're going to put these packing slips in. I tend to forget that, and then I have to go add them after I've already packed up everything. Anybody going thrifting today? Any garage sales on a Wednesday? Okay. Doesn't move. That's exactly what I want to see. We actually have a lead today where we might go to a Wednesday garage sale where they're actually opening tomorrow. But I know the person that's hosting the garage sale, so they may let us come look a little early. And he told me he has NASCAR jackets. So hopefully that deal ends up working out and we can go there a little early and find some decent stuff. Thankfully, here in Indiana, we do have a lot of Thursday garage sales, Wednesday, Friday. I know some people that live in the warmer areas, their garage sales are pretty much just on Saturdays. We get a good mix here in Indiana with the cost of not having as long as of a garage sale season. Okay, next Whatnot order. Let me see what they got here. Looks like they paid $22. $22 for this stack of games. They are getting Star Tropics, Rise of the Robots, Hoops, Golf, Friday the 13th, and Hogan's Alley. So all of those games for $22 before shipping. So definitely a good deal on their part. I think those will all fit. The last guy got a bunch of games, but he shot for all the cheapest ones. So he was definitely getting those filler titles for his collection. If you're just now joining, let me know. Where are you guys from in the comments? Any other Indiana people out there? Okay, get these bubble wrapped up. Welcome, welcome. So the one Super Nintendo game. Oh, Indianapolis. Nice. I am basically from Indianapolis. I'm just a little more north than that. Oh, Gene, I've talked to you before. Duh. Thanks for joining, Gene. Gene, you doing any garage selling this weekend? Or Friday? Thursday? I know my plan is to go Thursday to garage sales. I'm not sure why it's so washed out on the other feed. Wellington, oh, Australia. I get a lot of comments from Australian viewers, and it's always about how their prices on video games are super high. Do you find that as well, Austin? I don't think I'm going to be able to fit. Nope. I'm going to have to upgrade to another size box. Those games just aren't going to fit in there. So we've got to go to the next size. Unfortunately, not heading up to Madison, Wisconsin for a show. What kind of show, Gene? Like a toy show, video game show, an opera? What are you doing up there in Madison? Yeah, Austin, that's what I hear. I hear that Australia is pretty crazy when it comes to prices. Sometimes I find it funny because I'll post a video with a pretty unique interaction for me, and then I'll get a bunch of comments about how I'm wrong on the prices or whatever, and then they're commenting for Canada or they're commenting from Australia. It's like, it may be wrong for where you're at, but where this interaction happened, it's spot on. So I always find that kind of funny. Let's get these next three. Had to upgrade to a slightly larger box. Acrocat. My daughter has wanted to see performing cats. Look it up. Acrocats. I will have to look that up. I've never heard of that. So it's kind of like a Cirque du Soleil, but for cats. Is that what it is? I love seeing unique and different types of shows like that. Although we did go to a ballet one time, and I'll probably never do that again. That was pretty boring for me. You know, I'm sure there's some people that love them. For me, it was just not my jam. But I do enjoy plays and musicals and that kind of show, just not ballet. Yeah, Austin, his comment, there are a lot, they jump for those same deals. It's exactly right. I get all kinds of comments of saying, should have went back, I should have given more money, blah, 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 whatever the case is. But if those people were there, they wouldn't have went back. It's real high. It's real easy to talk all high and mighty online compared to actually being there. And when you do this for a business, what a lot of people don't understand is, like, I get some really killer deals at garage sales for sure. But for me to get to that garage sale, I may have hit 30, 40 garage sales by that point and failed at all of them. I have to account for that time, the gas, of all those other failures before I got to that one good one. And a lot of people don't understand. They think, oh, you showed up to this one garage sale, you got there, you were the first one there or whatever. And I'm rarely the first one at a garage sale. If you watched my Harley video, I was actually at that sale at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Technically, it was like 2:45, but pretty much 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I had garage saled all day up to that point and didn't do great. And I drove probably 100 miles total that day. So when I got to that garage sale, they initially wanted $5 a shirt, which is a pretty decent deal. They then dropped it to $3, and I offered $200 for everything. That's trying to account and help me get back more into the profit for all of that wasted time that I had already done at the garage sales. You can't just account for the one garage sale where you're actually buying the stuff. Well, there goes the phone. Let me reset that up. The camera fell over. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Are we not? That's probably why it looks like crap, because it's going off of my laptop for those the people watching on Facebook or YouTube. I actually hooked up my GoPro and it doesn't look like it wanted to turn on. So now it's just running off the laptop. I don't know how to adjust that on the fly. I'm trying to. And as I said, I messed up. If I sell on eBay, but on Whatnot, when you print your label, it actually puts the packing slip there. So it already automatically comes with it. So I feel like if they are putting that with your label, you should probably put it in the box. I don't know if you have to, but an easy fix. Just taped it up again. Thank you if you're just now joining. We only have one more Whatnot order, and then we're going to move over to the eBay orders. Let's make sure. Okay. This last person that bought these got in on some pretty good deals. They paid for 1, 2. So for $19, they got 10 games. So $19, they got 10 games. Those 10 games were Dr. Mario. Again, we probably lost out on some money on this, but somebody got a good deal and we got to move inventory. We got Saycross, Madden 96, Mark Davis, the Fishing Master, Pool, Super Black Bass, Clue, Little League Baseball, a pretty rough copy of City Connection, and Casino Kid. So for $19, they got all of those games. Make sure. So we got 3, 6, 10. 10 games. Definitely going to have to go in the bigger box. If you're just now joining in, let me know where you guys from. Now, Austin, being in Australia, do you guys have garage sales? Is that something they do over there? If you're still watching, Austin. Okay, let's get some bubble wrap on these games. Sometimes I probably go a little heavier on the bubble wrap than I need to, but I feel like it makes the person feel like you're taking extra care of their stuff, even when necessarily you don't need the extra bubble wrap. Probably do 4 or 5 of these together. Welcome, welcome. Just finishing up the last of the Whatnot orders. I'm kind of frustrated that this other feed didn't use the camera that I wanted it to. I don't know if I can switch that on the fly. It doesn't look great, I'm sure. Okay, got the first half of these games. Get them in the box there, and then finish up these last 5. Does anybody else sell on Whatnot? Just move that camera out of the way. Any other Whatnot sellers out there? Or Whatnot buyers? I've had some mixed thoughts on it. You definitely, as a seller, where do you get your bubble wrap? I get all my bubble wrap from American Bubble Boy. So I buy it in bulk. I get 4 rolls at a time. And it normally lasts me a couple months when I do that. Because I also buy packing paper. So you can see it on one of my feeds. I don't think you can see it on the other. I buy big rolls of packing paper. And that helps fill the packages so I don't need to use as much bubble wrap. Okay, finishing up that last game. And I definitely will remember to put my packing slip in there this time. So get that folded up. Put the packing slip. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of room in that box. So I'm going to fill up the crevices with some of that packing paper. I don't like my stuff moving in the box. I don't think it looks good. So what I always do, I fold it up where I'm getting ready to tape it. I give it the shake test. If I don't hear any movement in there, it is good for the tape. And that finishes everything I had for Whatnot this morning. Now we just get to move on to eBay. Okay, so that was 6 orders for Whatnot going out. I'm going to get these out of the way. Okay, let's move on to those eBay orders. I got my nice mom tumbler. My wife has like 6 times as many tumblers as I do. So I end up like using mine and then have to look in the cabinet. And it's always mom ones, moms and flowers. So using the mom tumbler today. Okay, let's move to eBay. We have 1, 2, I think I have 4 eBay orders that I have to get out today. Let's see if this signed in for me. Thank you if you're just now joining in. Anybody else from Indiana? We had an Australia. We had another Indiana. Where's everybody else from? Love to know where you guys are based out of. Of course, it signed into the wrong one. Let me get signed into the proper eBay. I did not sell anything on my personal store. We only sold stuff on mine and Brandon's joint store today. And if you hear a weird noise, there are... Oh, Philadelphia, nice. I have a funny story about... Well, it's not really a funny story, but I'll tell you about Philadelphia a little bit. So if you hear noise, I don't know if you can hear it. I'm in a pole barn, and the birds like to get on top of the pole barn, and it makes this really awkward, awful scratching noise. So if you hear something, that's what it is. It's the birds visiting the top of the pole barn. So Philadelphia, I've only been out to the East Coast one time. And I took a road trip with a couple buddies of mine. And our plan was to go Philadelphia, then whatever the mountains are. I can't even remember the name. Blue something mountains. And we got to Philadelphia at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. And didn't really know what to do. So we just walked around downtown Philadelphia pretty late at night. It was not the most pleasant experience. It's a little scary down there. If you're not familiar with like East Coast cities and the type of people that are out at that time at night. But we slept in our car eventually to where we could see a little bit of the sights. We went to Gino's, the sub place, and then we ended up trying to go to the steps, the Rocky Steps, the art museum. And I think it was called like the New Jersey Turnpike or something like that. But we got onto that and there was like no exits for that stupid road. And we ended up driving quite a bit on it. And then eventually we looked at the map. This was before like MapQuest or not MapQuest, but like Google Maps was really easily accessible on your phone. We looked at the map and realized that we weren't that far away from New York. So we just decided to go to the Statue of Liberty to that day. So we drove on that stupid road for long enough. We're like, we might as well just keep going to New York. So went to New York, only went to the Statue of Liberty. So I don't even know if that counts as going to New York. And then came back and then went down to DC that night. Okay, this is moving a little slow. My apologies. Trying to get these pulled up here. And I just realized that I sat one of the games out in that whatnot order and didn't get it into the box. So that's frustrating because now I'm going to have to go through those in a little bit and get that in the right box. That sucks. Okay, now we got the orders pulled up. First thing that we sold today was this X-Men trilogy. Blu-ray, I believe. Yep, Blu-ray. We sold this for $14.99 before shipping. I believe, so we have two big DVD and Blu-ray purchases. The first came from when we bought out somebody's basement, and then Brandon at a garage sale picked up a ton of Blu-rays and DVDs for us. So I'm not 100% sure where this came from, but we probably have like $1 into it. So that was the first thing that sold. I think it'll fit in this 8x6x4. And it does. I'm going to put just a little bit of bubble wrap on there. I'm going to do the thicker bubble wrap on this one, just so it fills in that box a little more. Perfect. Nice tight fit. I'm going to put a small layer of that packing paper on top. Again, give it the shake test. Nothing is moving. Tape that up and it's good. Good to go. And make sure I write on the box so when I go to print my label, they don't get mixed up. Okay, next item. Let's go with this pin. Where is the pin? There's the pin. Okay, we sold this pin. I'll show it here, and we'll show it here. This is a Freemasons pin. It is the Royal Order of Jesters. And this came out of the NASCAR storage unit that we just bought. And we paid, I think we paid $2,000 for that whole storage unit. We're already in the profit on that. And this pin was in a box with all kinds of other pins. And just this one pin alone sold for $15 before shipping. So if you find Freemason stuff, look out for the Royal Order of Jesters. That stuff seems to move better than the other stuff. And we're just going to put this in a bubble mailer. And actually, I have a smaller bubble mailer. Let me grab that. I think this size will do just fine. As you can see, it will. I don't think it really needs. A lot of times I'll put like cardboard in it. I don't think I need the cardboard today, but I will add just another little layer of bubble wrap. So I did 1/2 of a sheet just to give it a little extra protection in there. And a lot of times I do this, like I say, it's not necessarily to protect the item more, but to make the buyer believe that it's protected more. I think it makes it look a little more professional and like you care about their item a little bit. So again, that pin sold for $15 before shipping. Next item we have here is a clothing item. Welcome if you're just now joining in. We are finishing up our eBay orders for the day. This sold for $21.24. It's a distressed Y2K hoodie. Just a black hoodie. Pretty simple. It was a size large. Now, if it had the center check, it would probably made it worth like 50 or 60 bucks, but it just has the normal check on the left breast area. So this will be fine in a poly mailer. So let me grab that poly mailer. So just a normal poly mailer from eBay. I think it needs one more fold on it. I'm gonna slide it in this bag here. Anybody else find any good deals this weekend, or do you have big garage sale plans, or do you guys have any good sales? Any high dollar sales that you want to brag on? I always love hearing about a good sale because it makes me a little more motivated to go find the sales, to find those deals. I appreciate the likes. Appreciate it. So again, this Nike hoodie sold for just a little bit over 20 bucks, like $21. Super easy to ship. Go straight into the poly mailer. Juicy Couture. I can't even say that word. Couture. What? So where did you find those bags? Where did the Juicy Couture bags come from? Garage sale, Goodwill, or did you already sell them? That is not a brand I'm super familiar with. Again, I just write on the package, so when I go to print the labels, I know what everything is. Okay, I think I'm down to my last order. And this one's going to take some adjustment on the box. So let me pull up my orders page here. Thrift stores for $30 to $90. They sell for $250 plus on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. Nice. So thrift store, you picked them up from anywhere from $30 to $90, and they sell for $250. I did not know that those sell for that well. Juicy Couture. I'm pretty sure I've seen that brand before, but I've never even really looked into them. I guess I'm going to have to keep an eye out for that. Okay, this sold for $74.99. This came out of the storage unit that we talked about, or that I talked about where that pin came from. So we have maybe like $5 into this at this point. We're already into the profit though. So for $74.99, it is a little longer. It's a little bit longer of a car. So it technically fits in this box. Butterfingers. It technically fits in here. They're trending right now. They're vintage. Okay, so vintage Juicy Couture. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to extend this box, the length of it a little bit. I'm going to show you how I do that. It doesn't need much. So what I do is I see basically where this car would fit in the box. So I hold it up to it like so. As you can see that. And then basically what I do is I make a mark right here on this area that shows that I don't need that extra space. So what I do is I make my mark. And then I'll show you here. So if you can see that small mark there, I know that all this space over here is unneeded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a cut the whole length of that box. So you see that cut right there. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure. So from the right side of the box to that cut, it's exactly 4 inches. So then what I'm going to do is I need an identical cut on the other side. So I flip the box around. I go from the right side and I mark out that 4 inches. I make a small cut and then I'm going to cut the whole length of the box again. So now I'll have that cut on this side as well. So I've got the cut here and I've got the cut here. And then I'm going to disassemble the box, which I only had 2 small pieces of tape on here because I knew that I was going to have to alter it. And then I'm just going to finish that cut. So I'm going to go down all the way down each side. And now that I have that cut down each side, I can fold at my cuts. I didn't cut this side deep enough. It didn't want to fold where I cut it. So I'm going to recut on it. That way it'll actually fold on my cut. There we go. Perfect. So now what I have is an altered box. And you can see that it's actually longer than it was initially. So now I just have to slice down the edges here. And that should be perfect. Now I just have to reassemble the box. Once I get this bottom folded, I'll show you what it looks like. So now my box looks like this. It's been adjusted to where it's actually longer now. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't keep a ton of boxes on hand. I basically have a certain amount that I've been given or that I bought, and then I make use of the rest of it. So that car that wouldn't fit in that box initially now fits in there, and I didn't need as much width on it. So now it's like a perfect fit. Once I get some bubble wrap on this thing, it's already going to be a pretty tight fit. And then all I'll have to do is add a little bit of packing paper around it. Now I just got to add my bubble wrap. Okay, first layer of bubble wrap is on. And then I'm going to do the thicker bubble wrap. Again, more just to fill out that space a little better. So now we got the thicker bubble wrap. Let's put it in the box and see how it fits. That's a pretty good fit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it to one end, pack some paper in there. Slide it back into the paper. Fill in that other side. So now we have it cushioned with paper on the sides. There's really not any wiggle room on the other edges, so I don't need to add anything there. Actually, it's a little too tall with that layer of bubble wrap I added, so I'm going to just take off one of the sides. So I needed to cut off a little of this extra bubble wrap because it wasn't going to close properly. It was actually too much in there. Now we have a perfect fit. Tape this up. And before I do all the taping, now you can see that box that didn't quite fit that car fits perfectly now. And that's how I alter all of my boxes when I need to. Perfectly snug. Perfectly snug. Now, anytime that I alter a box, it ends up having more seams, obviously. So I'm going to put typically more tape than I normally would. That way I cover up all those seams that I've created. And I don't want any water getting into the box. So that's part of the reason that I do extra tape and get all those seams nice and covered with tape. Because I don't want any water to get into where those seams were. I would like to think that most post office or most deliveries would not leave stuff out in the rain, but it does happen. Exactly. You want to make it snug to where those fragile items don't move around and don't break. And you don't want that box opening up. You want it to get there safe. A safe package arriving to the buyer makes them extra happy. I've never had issues. I shouldn't say I've never had issues. I've had a few items break, but I've never had like an item get there. You know, like basically I've had 2 items break. I had a cookie jar that I packaged the crap out of it and it still broke. And even the buyer, when they left me my review, said that I did a phenomenal job of shipping it. They just broke it. And then I had a golf club that they just snapped it in half, which I didn't think that was even really possible, but it happened. But most of my reviews on eBay are how good of a job I did packing the item. You want to make sure that that buyer feels that you care about their item just as much as they feel about it. So this is one of those seams I was talking about. Because I've cut the box, there's an extra little seam there because I've cut the box to adjust it. So those are the areas that I'm going to add that little bit of extra tape. To where I'm going to seal those up extra. So now I've got a piece of tape on that corner. Okay, let's see here. Just shipped an expensive lamp with 3 art glass shades. I don't get breakage. Only here do I break stuff. Yep, I drop stuff in the barn often. Unfortunately, the way I have my shelves set up, sometimes I don't see stuff, and then I'll put a new item on there, and it pushes stuff off the back and breaks it. Okay, should be, this corner should be the last I need. Okay, that looks pretty good now. That adjusted box is extra taped. All taped up nice and snug. Now it's ready for me to weigh it eventually. I'll do that off camera later. And just write, I only had 1 car going out today, so just wrote the car. Even the small priority boxes, I tape them real well too. I do as well. So the good thing about I don't use priority boxes nearly as much as I used to. Once they changed it to where USPS ground wasn't an option, a lot of stuff, it's not worth it to use the priority boxes anymore. I was using those priority boxes all the time. But now there's such a cost saving from USPS Ground Advantage that it's really hard to use those priority boxes for me. I have my shipping supplies back in that area, and I rarely use those now. It's just not something that I need. Johnny, I'm not sure how you say that. Johnny Wanawan, I appreciate you hanging in here and talking with me. I don't think I have anything else for you guys today. However, with Pirate Ship, it's a buck difference or so. Now, how often do you use Pirate Ship? I don't really use it as much anymore unless I ship. I'll sell stuff on Instagram or I'll sell stuff through my social media, and I'll definitely use Pirate Ship that way. You use it so even for eBay orders, do you use Pirate Ship? Because I don't get on Pirate Ship for eBay. I print everything from eBay. I'd be interested to know, you don't use eBay. That makes sense. Say with eBay, it's almost never worth it to go to Pirate Ship from what I found. I haven't tried it in a while. Every time that I sell stuff on Instagram or social media, it's always best to look at Pirate Ship that way. But that's really all I use it for. And I haven't been selling as much stuff on Mercari lately. I just recently got Autoposher to reshare and all that stuff, and I use Vindu to actually do the cross listing, and that's because I bought the year package, so I wasn't able to back out of that. But I think my plan for next time is to actually use the Autoposher to cross list. Oh, you're an artist. Nice. Do you sell a lot of art? And if you sell a lot of art, like what's your Instagram, or do you use? So So I don't know what that word is in USY. Oh, that's probably supposed to be so busy. Can barely keep up. That's awesome. Congratulations. I like to tell people that I was in Art Honor Society in high school, and my art teacher always told me I tried hard. So that's how I was able to get in there. I was not the greatest artist. We had an art competition. I can't even remember what it was called. And basically all the schools, you would send your art in, and they would basically pick which ones moved to the next round, and then it broke down to finally you'd have a winner. I got out of the first round one time, and I was super pumped that I got out of the first round. Ooh, sea glass. That's pretty sweet. We like to go up to Michigan, to South Haven, Michigan, and they always have really interesting sea glass art up there. That's pretty cool. Okay, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to try to keep this more regular to when basically every time that I go to do my shipping, my goal is to go live every time. That may not always happen, but that'll be my goal. I always appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure you're commenting. That helps drive the conversation. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to ask them. And hopefully I'll get better with this using multiple platforms. And it'll actually use the right camera that I want to, because it went to my laptop and did not use my GoPro. So it's probably going to look like crap. But I appreciate everyone. Have a nice day. We'll see you next time. In this one. And